She knows that he should not be elected as president. She knows him. She knows his heart. She knows the kind of man that I have described him to be. She knows he's a liar par excellence, that he's full of hate, and that he should not be trusted, and he should not lead America. She knows that. That's why she's not there in support. I know it, but I'm trying to pull your coat. Let me share something with you. Senator Tarzan has written 2 books, bestsellers, million-dollar sellers. One was called Dreams of My Father, referencing his Kenyan father that he never knew, that deserted him after 6 months of birth. He only saw him for a week or 10 days at the age of 10, and after that never saw him again. But yet he writes this entire book praising his father who deserted him. He writes an entire book talking about the dreams of his father, the greatness of his father and his bloodline. He writes this entire book extolling the virtues of his father who deserted him, who never gave him anything, any counsel. He had to live on food stamps with his mother, yet he extols the virtues of his father in this book, Dreams of My Father. And after that, he writes another book after he joins the Trinity United Church of Christ there in Chicago. And Dr. Wright gets up one preaching experience and preaches a sermon called The Audacity of Hope. He picks up that title and in extolling the virtues and the preaching skills and the leadership and how affectionate he is and the love that he has for Dr. Wright, he writes a book all about the audacity of hope built on his relationship with Dr. Jeremiah Wright, another man in his life. I challenge you here today, as you make up your mind, I challenge you, read both of those books and see if you can find one word in there that is charitable or one full paragraph about his mother. It's not there. How can a man write any book and never mention his mother? 2 books, it's absolutely inconceivable that a man can write 2 books and never mention his mother once. Now, I have noticed something, that there's certain basketball players, whenever they're playing in a big game, their mamas are there in the stand. Go, Johnny, go. Go, Johnny. Run that ball, Johnny. Go ahead. Up there, Ray. Go ahead, run that ball, Johnny. Go ahead. You get off my boy. I'll come down there and beat the living daylights out you. That's a mama and a grandmama in the stands watching her boy who's made national prominence. I've watched something over this last year and a half, as I've watched this man go from one degree of elevation in the public and national and international eye. Not once has his grandmother ever come to any of his events? Come on, talk to me, people. Talk to me. From the hood, your mama could be sicker than sick, in a wheelchair, can't talk, hooked up to a constant IV. But if her boy is getting ready to receive the nomination for the Democratic Party of these United States and the possibility of president, you're going to be there. Come hell or high water, you're going to be in that stand that day to see your blood, your flesh and blood be recognized of such. His grandmama wasn't there and didn't issue a statement. You know why? Let me tell you why. Because she knows that he is hate-filled. She knows that he should not be elected as president. She knows him. She knows his heart. She knows the kind of man that I have described him to be. She knows he's a liar par excellence, that he's full of hate, and that he should not be trusted, and he should not lead America. She knows that. That's why she's not there in support. I know it, but I'm trying to pull your coat. I'm trying to help you. Wake you up. He's never written a word about her. He threw her under the bus a couple of months ago by saying his grandmother, when she sees a black man on the street, cringes in fear. But none of his, and not just his grandmother, but I want to know, he said he's related to Dick Cheney, okay. But I want to know where his white nieces and nephews, I mean, don't those people have some family members in Kansas or Honolulu or somewhere that will come and say, Uncle Barack? Well, he's Uncle Tarzan, but what you want, don't you think that somebody from his family should show up at something sometime? Don't you think? If they thought well of him, don't you think? And don't you think his family members know something about him that we ought to take a lesson from? Not one person. You don't know anybody except Dick Cheney. That's in his relative and in his bloodline. And so, I mean, maybe her name is Madeline Dunham. His grandfather is Stanley Dunham. Maybe they're cooler than people from the hood. But I'm going to tell you, boy, if that was my mama, she'd be on television every day. Yeah. She'd be inviting all the new, come on to my house. Let me fix you some potato pie, some fried chicken. Francis, come here. That's my daughter, my sister. And fix these people some food. All day long, my mama be on television. In fact, I said, Mama, you have to say, I got to talk now. Wait a minute, I'm the one, not you. Not a word. What's wrong with you people?